Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Glass City Podcast here at the CMB Production Studios. And what a Sunday it is. A little bit of rain, a little bit of shine. I'm loving it. Hopefully you're loving it. But if you noticed behind me tonight, I've got three young gentlemen from Little Pink, a new band that's here in the Toledo area. These guys are awesome in their own right because why? They write their own music. They're not playing something you're going to hear on the radio. And they're not going to play anything yet that you recognize, but we're hoping to change that here in the future. I'm trying to work out a little deal with Seth, who's sitting in the middle here behind me, to send me some of their material so we can play it live on our weekly show. So let's start with Mason, and why don't you guys introduce yourselves as we go down the line here, and let's tell our viewers a little bit about yourselves.
I play drums in the band.
Okay,
My name's Mason.
That tells us a whole hell of a lot there. Give us a little bit of background too about yourself here.
What do you want to know?
How long have you been playing? What got you into playing?
I've been playing drums for 6 years. Technically not my first instrument, but it's the one I'm most comfortable with. It's a lot of fun. It's a pretty natural process. What got me into it, I guess, a lot of people say this, like Guitar Hero and stuff. That's how I started. Matt remembers. I was starting on the Guitar Hero kit, then eventually got a real kit. Here I am. Boom.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you do anything else with the band? I mean, are you just the drummer, or do you do any vocals, or do you?
I used to sing background vocals. That might return. I don't really know. I kind of leave it up to Seth, the mastermind.
The mastermind. Yeah, we determined that before you got here. We were talking about that. All right. Well, that was Mason. Didn't have a lot to say, but maybe we can change that as we go along here. Next up, we have Seth. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is with the band and how you got into it?
My name is Seth. I am the songwriter / multi-instrumentalist. I started getting into music in high school, started playing saxophone, and got into rock music and started playing guitar, lots of Nirvana, got into new wave, got into jazz, got into a lot of things and kind of expanded my instruments and did a lot of home recording and met Mason. Mason introduced me to Matt and we started a band.
So pretty much that's how the format worked there as far as...
Yep.
All right, Matt, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
All right, I'm Matt. I picked up guitar roughly about 2010, so I've been playing about 9 years. Started off playing like a lot of rock. I really got into Van Halen and a lot of classic rock. Really started working on my chops there, and then later down the line started meeting a couple people and got to Seth, and he introduced me to a whole new world of music, and picked up bass shortly after meeting Seth, and then just kind of took off with it.
So the bass wasn't your first choice, and
No.
kind of like with Mason, it wasn't your first choice. It's just something that kind of developed.
It was originally my last choice. But
Your last
kinda just picked it up after
And
we all got together.
I'll almost forget that comment. I'm being a bass player myself. You know? You
Well,
know.
I just in the beginning I had like the guitar player to go of
Right.
I'm never gonna play bass, but
Well, the truth is, for me, back in 83, 84, I was actually a guitar player. And I was playing with a band, and our bass player didn't show up, and I got elected. And I've been pretty much playing ever since. So I know I can't,
it's
knock
pretty
any.
similar.
Yeah, I can't knock anybody for switching instruments. I did the same thing. Thought I was going to be a guitar player, and no, I ended up being a bass player. So
It's arguably the most important part. It's all about that bass.
It's
It's honestly all about that bass.
Well, yes and no. I'm going to disagree, okay? Because if you don't have a solid drummer with solid timing, it can all fall apart. Because as we know, guitar players and bass players, they can miss a note, which can kind of throw you off a little bit if you're not careful. I mean, if it hasn't happened to you guys yet, you haven't been playing long enough. It will
I think
happen.
it's happened.
Plenty of times.
With a good solid drummer, that helps you get back on track. keeps that momentum going. So I kind of, you know, the bass is great. I personally like a lot of bass. I want you to be standing there with your drink and every 10 minutes have to go to the bathroom because of shaking your internals, you know. That's just the way I like to play. But so give us a little history on Little Pink and how that actually formed once you guys met, and how did you come up with the name? That'd be kind of something I'm curious about here, and I think some of our listeners may be as well. So who wants to take that role on explaining all of that?
I can.
You can.
Well, as I stated before, I did a lot of home recording. Said a couple of songs that I was pretty proud of, but me and Mason were jamming with another guy, so my songwriting was not shining. And then that band broke apart, and that left us to deal with my 4 songs. And then Matt was a guitar player, and he showed up to practice with a guitar, and there was like
3 guitar players.
Oh,
So
geez.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick up this bass.
There you go.
and
I've known Matt a very long time.
yeah. So we started just going off these 4 or 5 songs that I already had pieced together, and then we started, gradually making our own, and then we figured out that we needed a band name to do anything else. So I'm a big Stephen King nut, and I was reading a novel called Doohickey at that moment, and there's it's really too complicated of an explanation for a band name. That's why I kind of wince every time I say it. But in a short story, it's basically a man who loses everything. Wife divorces him, and then he goes and isolates himself in the Keys, Florida, and then he picks up painting because he has a bad temper, and it helps with his temper. And his house he referred to his house as Big Pink because it was a big pink house on the shore. And we wanted to be called Big Pink, but then there's another band who was already called
Who's
Big
already
Pink.
got that one? Okay.
So the room that he did all of his artwork in, that he expressed himself, that he was free in, was called Little Pink.
Okay.
So kind of.
Well, it if you ask me, then it fits perfect with you guys,
Yeah.
because you're reading a novel where he creates his artistic side
That's the point.
in the
of
Little
it.
Pink Room, and you guys, being an originals band, are expressing your artistic feeling through music instead of painting. So it works out. I actually, it makes perfect sense to me, and I'm glad that you brought all that reference together, because now maybe somebody else will pick up the book and read through it,
It's a
and
good book.
and actually I'm an avid reader. I may now pick it up and kick back in my easy chair.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we do have somebody that popped in. My buddy Scratchman Drew. Why don't y'all say hello to him?
Hello.
Hey, Scratch Man.
Okay, Scratchman Drew's got his also has a YouTube channel, and he takes the scratch lottery tickets and he scratches them live.
That's pretty sweet.
You'll have to check his channel out. It's real cool, especially Friday night's video feed. We did it right down here in the studios at the bar, and he hit $1,000 winner.
That's tight. And it was documented.
And it's documented.
That's tight.
It's documented, and he unveiled the first few, hundreds, and as he's going along, you can see him shaking, you can see him getting excited, you can hear it in his voice, and it was a lot of fun, and it was. And he says, "Hey, Little Pink."
What's up?
So he's one of my big supporters too, as well, with what we do. And then the same thing. If you guys are just curious on how it works out, you'll have to stop in his channel. He's got a multitude of videos. He's been doing it longer than I have, and it's actually kind of fun. It really is. And like I said, with the name of the band, the inspiration behind it, to me, knowing Mason especially, and I'm just meeting you two gentlemen for the first time, but in the short time, I like the inspiration, how you took inspiration from a pastime, which is reading, or a passion, and applied it to another passion, which is your music. And that was going to be my next question. When it comes to your music, where do you get your inspiration? Is it from life in general? Is it personal experience? Is it just something random you decided, hey, this would be cool to write about?
Do you want to include anything first before I go on this spree of explanations?
Well, I haven't written anything for the band yet, but there's a lot of things that inspire me. But yeah, life for sure. Life is complicated, so it sneaks in, you know. And obviously music I enjoy, which is very vast. So basically stuff like that. Yeah.
Matt?
I'm very inspired by like nature and outside. I spend a lot of time outside, and I actually write my own like acoustic music that's just impressionist, just acoustic.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no vocals because I'm pretty vocally
Mm.
impaired. So stay away from that. But
Okay.
I like to write too, so like I kind of get around it by just kind of expressing it just through the music.
Just through the music.
And a lot of times I'll bring some of those progressions over to Little Pink, and then we'll just kind of collaborate
Well,
around those.
had I known that, we would have set up for have you do an acoustic piece. We could have done that
Oh.
live today.
Oh, man.
Next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
All right, before we get back to Seth, because I know he's got some information that we're going to want, we've got Miss Mary G stopped in, ladies and gentlemen. And gentlemen, she says hello. Miss Mary G is another one of my big live supporters. She catches every show she can. And her channel's really cool. She does also the scratch offs, but she does a lot of other videos, just nature and things like that. It's really cool to watch her stuff, and a lot of it's kind of relaxing, and you just kind of kick back. And she's a wonderful person. So she says hello, and
I hope you're driving safe, Mary.
yeah. See, Miss Mary, they're watching you. So now, Seth, I want to hear it. I want to hear the inspiration. I want to hear what brings you to how you create.
Probably how most other people create. Just, I don't know, a lot of the environment, a lot of the people I'm around, me trying to figure out myself, trying to figure out them, nature, especially birds. I bird watch occasionally, and they make it into like, if I write 5 songs, there's gonna be 2 out of those 5 that have birds.
Oh, wow.
So I like birds, and I don't know, just nature and people.
So what would you describe your style as a band? Would it be an alternative? Would it be a more along the lines of a classic? How are we rolling all this together musically? Now that we know like where the lyrics, but once you start adding the music, where does that fall into place?
There's a lot of weird harmony, lots of crazy music theory that I get interested and engulfed in, and so it's kind of like jazz chords with the pop structure, but with a little bit of that early new wave aggression, like The Cure and Joy Division and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a combination of a bunch of things, and then Matt, we all bring our influences to the table, so.
So when it comes to the music side, then it is fully collective. You take your lyrics, you structure them, you bring them to the band, and say, hey, we need to create music to back that up. Or do you have a general idea of where you want to go and then kind of let them put their feel into it?
I always make the guitar part, well, I guess the harmony, the guitar part. I always come up with guitar, then try to like lyrics, and then, I will bring that to the table for them, and they usually just figure out what fits best for the song, and it works very well.
Okay, now you're talking about doing a little bit of jazz and new age influence. Are you guys doing then, instead of your standard 4/4 time, are you doing 7/8 timing? Are you doing 3/4 timing? Are you doing 5? I mean, are we going into the alternate rhythm styles to go with that, or is it pretty much just a straight beat 4/4 coming at you?
Mostly 4/4.
Mostly.
Yeah.
We're working on a 3/4 one right now.
Well, we have a couple of 3/4 in progress, and then
Okay.
I would love to do something in 5/4. Like I'm trying to figure out something, Dave Brubeck and
Yep.
Take 5, and it's just such a fun feel. It has its own dimension to it.
It has its own life when you get
Yeah.
into the.
You can't dance to it. You got to find a different way to dance to
Mhm.
it. You can't just
I,
1, 2.
You've
3,
not watched
4.
my children dance. Then they can dance to anything. It don't matter. It's out there.
I've
It's
seen
great.
it.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
Yes, you have actually.
Yeah.
You have beared witness to my so. But that's cool. It's nice to know that you're bringing in this kind of jazz, and I'm personally I love jazz.
Mhm.
I love blues. All the roots of everything we know as music. And I like going back that far. And of course, I'm a classical fiend. If you look through some of my stuff, you'll find all kinds of classical music. And it's nice to see, and don't take this wrong, the younger generation, you guys, that are coming into the music scene and applying some of those concepts again and getting away from the doldrum of some of the writings that have been going on over the last 20 years. And that's how I feel. And I've been playing for a very long time. It's nice to hear about something fresh, something new. And again, I can't wait to get some of your material and put it live on the show so we can let them hear it. I mean, that's why you're writing, right? That's why you're playing, is to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm the guy that's going to help you do that. Why? Because I love music, in period. And,
Appreciate it, man.
yeah, and that's why when I talked with you about, getting you guys on the show, it's to let the people know who you are. When they hear Little Pink, now they got faces and personalities to go with it. And they can say, hey, I saw those guys on YouTube. They're really cool. Let's go see them live. Let's see what they can do. And that's why I really wanted to do this. Drew told me I should just grab one of the guitars and let you play. I have to hook everything up to fire up because there's no amps down here. And I got to put strings on the acoustic. I haven't done that. That's my fault. I'm our tech guy for all our stuff, and I've been slacking lately.
Very understandable.
No.
No, I understand.
not from my perspective, no. Because it would have been cool. I could have handed you the ovation, or either, and you guys could have done a little bit. But like Mason, that is coming up. We are going to do that. Hopefully, you guys will want to come back. So, what areas are you playing right now? I know you guys were doing work, what, BG area, or what area was it that you were doing something not too long ago? I thought I was talking with, maybe not.
I mean, we have been at BG.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it
Quite a
was. Maybe,
few. We really like house shows and stuff there.
okay,
A lot of fun.
okay. And I thought maybe that's what it was, in brief talking and stuff like that. How long has this band been together? This collectiveness here?
3 years.
Over 3 years, yeah.
3
Just
years.
over.
Yeah.
We started in summer of 16.
There's a song, Summer of 16. Oh, no, there's already a,
Probably.
Summer of
Probably
6 or
shouldn't
9.
do
But hey, where do you see your guys' selves going? What is it you want to accomplish with your music? And don't be afraid to actually tell us what you want to do with it. I mean, if you've got aspirations of touring and stuff, we want to know about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
just
Bigger than Beyonce. I'm just kidding.
No, don't kid. Set a goal.
I'll let these guys answer.
I'd love to travel, probably not excessively, but I would love to do it and travel and play music. And I've not done it yet, so I'm kind of cautious because I know that there are bands who hate touring,
Yep.
and I know that's part of it, and I think I would enjoy it. So, and then I don't know. Just like
Okay.
people to hear us.
So, based on that, what would be your dream place to play? The one place that, no matter where you played, say you got out, you're touring, where would you want to go?
Is this a venue or a city?
Either. a specific venue, a city, a country. It don't even have to be here in the U.S. Where would your dream situation be? Let's start with you, Mason.
If we ever got to play in like L.A. or Austin, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
I've been to both cities and love
Mhm.
them. So
That
if we
would
played a show there, that'd be super cool.
that would be super cool.
Yeah.
Seth, what about you?
Well, it would be really cool to play out of the country for sure. I don't know where exactly. I'm not really familiar with any specific places, but I just want to go out of the country.
Well,
period.
let me ask this then. Based on that, what country would you like to visit to be able to play?
Probably Europe, somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in Europe?
I think
Okay.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would second that. I'd love to
You-
go across the pond. Yeah, this would be really fun. Just travel.
Well,
out there.
Europe's a pretty large continent.
Yeah.
So myself, if I were to actually I want to go to Australia and play in the amphitheater.
Oh, Australia would be great too.
That's
why I
me.
didn't think about
Okay,
that.
that's where I would want to. Don't ask me why. I just
There's great music there.
and
Yeah.
that's where I would go. I don't know about the rest of the bandmates that I jam with, but that would be mine. That's one place that I think I would always, again, out of the country. Oh, I'd love to play there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Just watch out for spiders
It's
and
fun,
snakes.
just-
I like spiders though. I'm okay with spiders and
Really?
snakes. So I've owned them. I've owned
cool.
tarantulas. I've owned snakes. There's none here. You can calm down. You don't have to go running out of your chair or anything. You know, and I don't have any currently. I have pugs and pig.
I've heard about the pig.
The pet pig.
Yeah,
That's
I've
right.
heard about
Peppa, my pet pig. 160 pounds of ornery.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that's my baby. When I was doing another interview, we were joking about putting one of my cameras on a harness on the pig and let her run around and call it the pig cam.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
I-
pretty
I-
sweet.
So I'm working on coming up with a harness to be able to put a GoPro or something and we'll see what happens. So,
Cool.
and we'll definitely put that on one of the shows. So we got all of this together. When's your shows? We got anything booked? We got anything coming up? Or is this, we're still in the planning stages and pulling it together? Where are we at
Yeah,
right
it's in
now?
the planning stage for sure.
We
We-
have wait. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
All
Oh,
you.
we have something that we would like to release soon. Something that's hopefully will be finished soon, and hopefully we will be prepared. Sooner the better, but we don't want to rush it, obviously. But we should start planning shows, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a couple months.
We're kind of slow, but
Hey,
gradual.
no, dude, don't knock yourself for wanting to present your material the way you want to present it the right way. Even though I'm going to say this, perfectionism in music will kill you. It will. It'll drive you insane. I was like that until I backed off and said, you know what? Things happen. Let them happen naturally. That's when I even had to start personally starting having more fun. So from one musician to the other, you can have it perfect in your head. I'm going to tell you right now, it will never come out perfect on paper or playing because you need to put you into it. And as soon as you do that, it changes from the format that's in your brain. And as soon as you put you guys into this, that's when your crowd is going to love it. They're going to hear you, not just the music or just the lyrics. And those are the shows, and that's what I like about Mason. When there were certain songs that he did that was like, that's Mason. I wasn't listening to the cover song he was singing. I was listening to Mason.
Cool.
You know, and that's what I want to hear from you guys personally. I want to get that feeling. I want to be able to be sitting there listening to it and go, shit, I got to go write. Seriously, and from the music that you're explaining to me, that is the feeling that I think I'm going to get. And so I'm going to listen to one of your tracks and say, why didn't I think of that? You know, and want to come down here and play. And I don't know if that's the message you guys are trying to convey to others, is to get them inspired or you know, or what. But so, what would your purpose with your music be? As far as, like, for me, I love inspiration. That's why I listen to just about anything and everything anybody can throw at me. Anybody?
I feel like we might all have a different answer, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
This one's like seems like a variable response.
I don't know.
It's a loaded question, okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not an interviewer or a journalist, so I come up with these things as I'm going along. As you can see, there's no paperwork in front of me.
You're doing great, man.
I'm doing it on the fly.
Yeah. Inspiring people would be cool, but I think the reason I do music is just because it's just like, it's like you get a high from it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
I do.
like, makes me feel alive. I don't know, makes me feel like I have purpose. Like
And that's
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And if you keep that
If other people enjoy it, cool. If they don't, cool, you know?
Yep.
So,
What about you, Sal? What?
I think I do it. I mean, I guess I can try and explain it as in, like, I make something for myself and hand it to people, and hopefully they enjoy it too. But it's mostly for me figuring out myself, or trying to figure something out and writing and feeling good about what I ended up making, I guess. And then hopefully someone takes it and can relate.
And I think that's the key right there. The relate. When they listen to it, they're hearing your story per se, and they can say, oh wow, I can feel for him, or I know where he's coming from, and that's the relate process of music, and I think that's cool. Matt, what are you thinking back here?
I take it like maybe like one step shorter. I don't necessarily want anyone to relate to my music. I just want
Okay.
them to see it from my perspective and maybe just understand where I was in that moment and why I wrote what I wrote. I don't want them to say, hey, I know what he's going through. Well, I understand. I just want to say, hey, I see what's going on.
Okay.
I see why he did what he did.
Okay.
That's more or less. I would never expect anyone to understand.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a musician. We won't.
And anything that inspires someone is always a plus, but I wouldn't necessarily ever say it's the goal. But if it inspires someone, great. But if not, then it's just all perspective.
Yeah.
I guess it's biased because I'm in the band, but sometimes I listen to our music and I pay attention to the lyrics, and I definitely relate to like what Seth's saying, for sure. So
Which, but but that's actually great, because if you
Yeah.
think about it, that puts another type of bond that you guys can work with. When you're doing a show, you may not necessarily have to even speak to each other, but you know what you're going to do. You know where you're at, and it's just a flow. And then, of course, when it comes out like that, everybody's going to hear that. I'm a huge critic of music. I go to a lot of different things. As you know, I've worked sound for a lot of different bands and different events, and I'm always listening, and I'm listening with a critical ear, but in a good way. You know, I'm not going to tell you how to make yourselves better, because that's not my thing. I'm going to tell you how I hear it, and then you can take that information and say, well, maybe, or not. You know.
Well, I remember when you did sound at Papapalooza last year, and you gave me a lot of advice, and like I took it and just like, you know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
No,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm here. I don't know everything. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I don't know everything. I don't know half of what I think I should know. But what I have learned over the years, I've learned very well. And what I know, I want to pass on.
Yeah.
Because when I'm not here, who's going to do it?
Right.
You know, I don't want to take that knowledge with me. I want to share it. My goal is to make anybody that's in the industry better than what I am. And if I can do a little advice, or maybe say, hey, maybe look at it this way, or from a different angle, and if that helps, great. If not, that's cool too. But I want to share what I have learned with you guys. Steve Long, I had him. He's the lead vocalist from Streetwise and Heyday, and we were talking about when they get a new show, if he's ever gone to a bar and sat and listened, kind of checked it out, and what I've done in the past, and he liked the idea, is I'll go in, I'll get a beer, I'll sit off to the side, and I'll listen to the jukebox. So the jukebox is going to tell you what those people are listening to.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a good idea.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see the gears turning back here in Matt. But because even with the new jukeboxes, what they'll do is they'll play the most popular thing, randomly that's played on that machine. And if you sit there long enough, you'll hear at least the top 5 songs played throughout the week in that establishment. And then I bring that to the band and say, okay, we play this one already, or what song do we have that's like this, or can we put one in that may not be this one, but something similar, and go from there. But what I like about what you guys do is you don't have to worry about it, because your music isn't yet on a jukebox. Is it available though to the public yet? Have you released it through one of the media sources?
Mm-hmm.
Where can they get it? Everywhere.
Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you one of these.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, then what I'm going to do is I will actually scan this, and my next show, I'm going to put it up there.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'll put it
Thanks, man.
basically like, as you see now, you've got me in a little corner here, which is where I belong, in the corner, and you guys in the big picture. Well, I can do the similar thing with stuff like this. I can do a picture-in-picture, a screen capture, and I can actually put it up there, and we can talk about it, and let people know where they can get your music. I still would like copies sent directly, because that would mean something special to me. That personal touch.
We do have a
if you
couple
don't
CDs.
mind.
Yeah, we have a couple CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to be signed, because they'll be sent digital if that's how you want to do it. Or if you actually have physical CDs you want to bring me, I can, like I said, I can put them on. But I would like to feature your music on the show. I just got a CD from a gentleman last night from a band called Zodiac Click.
I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
And same thing. I'm gonna take his CD and I'm gonna take a few tracks and I'm gonna put them out there. And I want to do that with your music.
Cool.
I
Thanks,
want to
man.
be another outlet other than what you're already using, because I'll be able to talk about it as they're listening to it, and then they can go, "Oh, I gotta get this."
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose. I'm gonna pick on the quiet guy here. I already told him, I told Matt earlier, just before he got me, the quiet ones scare me in a good way. I want to pick your brain a little bit, and I want to know where you're going to take your music and how you're going to take the music that you currently have to the next level. Yeah,
Great
see,
question.
look at the smile. You see, I think I finally hit where something that he likes, the challenge. Yeah.
I don't know if I like it.
You don't know if you like it.
I'm intimidated.
Don't be intimidated. I'm an old guy. What am I going to do?
The question's the intimidating.
See, here's what I'm going to do. I'm challenging you to look in yourself and what you want to do. There's the challenge. Because I know you got levels. You've got your levels of writing, you got your levels of thinking. And you were talking about the different styles. What else can you do with it? I guess is where can you take that to the next level, to where you've achieved something that now you got to try to beat that, and you keep pushing yourself.
I want to write more music that has a wider variety of instruments.
Okay.
Be able to somehow fit into the jazz scene or something. Be able to have that flexibility and have that talent to be able to fit into there. I mean, I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm trying.
Okay.
That I'm working on getting there, and then I also, would like to be able to just produce most of the music that I write.
Okay.
I'm working on that and working on various projects and trying to help people out, and then play it live.
Okay. Now, with that, playing live, myself and a few other artists that have written music together have always seemed to write a piece that doesn't fit the band as far as there's too much going on. And so taking it from a studio recording to a live situation, now you have to basically rewrite it. Have you fallen into that unfortunate situation yet where you've recorded something and maybe it's got 3 guitar parts where you only have 2 guitar players, so you've got your rhythm, then you've got a lead, or you've got an overdub situation that you can't do live?
I easily adapt
You
to that. I just, whatever I feel is most important, or sometimes I would just swap out things. I always play things differently too. I'm not really strict on sticking to what the album sounds like. I'm always using different effects, pedals, and always changing that kind of stuff up, and maybe trying different voicings, or like our oldest songs, they're so different.
They're very different live. Yeah.
You know, he's now my new favorite just by that statement, changing it, even though you've got it recorded one way, but you go with the mood. You go with, when you're out playing at a certain venue or whatever, you feel it, right? That's what I love. See, that's sorry. I like you, man, but he's now my favorite because of that inspiration. Because he takes that inspiration at the moment, at that spot, and says, "Let's go with it." So you'll throw a different effect in, or you'll throw, but it's still the same song.
Yeah.
All in all,
Yeah.
you still have the same structure, but you make it yours at the moment, and I think that is really cool. And that is also a nice advantage to writing your own material, because if that crowd has not heard you play, they don't know if it's right or wrong. And that's the cool thing about it. Until, of course, we get you, on tour in Europe, then they may then you might want to maybe play it the same way a couple of times for them, But I like the inspiration with that, and that's why I said I knew I could pick on you in a good way, because you were giving me the type of thing that inspires me. Inspiration in your environment where you're at. So one club you play, you're going to feel one way. You play another one, you're going to feel another, and then maybe do an outside event where you're in nature. Could bring on a whole new meaning to what you're doing, and that's what I like about it. Now, I think we should pick on Mason. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Somehow, some way.
Okay.
Sick the dogs.
So, you're the youngest, right?
Technically, only by like a couple months,
But you're still the baby.
basically.
How much inspiration do you actually get from these guys, though?
A lot.
See, that's cool.
Like ridiculous amounts of inspiration from these guys. Yeah. Like Matt, like I've said, I've known him a long time. He's like unbelievable at anything with strings.
Well,
So,
we
like,
might find out before he leaves, because I've got
Yeah.
my rig set up and ready to go.
Cool.
It would take me about 4 minutes to set up the guitar rig.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I just remember.
Do it,
You
there you
gotta do it. I just remember I was like guitar was my first instrument.
Right,
technically. And I just remember I was kind of into what you get into as a young angsty teen, Metallica, and I still listen to all that
okay,
stuff, but,
time out there. I'm going to contradict that only for one purpose. When I was a teen, that music didn't exist yet. But we'll put it in perspective. For your age group, for your generation, that's what you're listening to, is the Metallicas, Pantera, things like of that nature. Nirvana? No,
not until later. Not until later. But
Okay.
I was getting in all that like kind of shred stuff, and then like the very first thing I heard from Matt was like Eruption, and I was just like, yeah, I suck. Like I can't.
Oh man.
Like I'm over here playing power chords, and Matt's just like tapping and shredding. I'm just like, wow. And then
Yeah.
like I met Seth, and I knew who The Cure was. But then he really got me into them, and I'm just like, wow, like this band is incredible, and just like the melodies, and,
Right.
But yeah, Seth is like the most talented dude I know, like straight up, it's incredible what he can do.
Thank you.
So
I'm
yeah,
a second.
yeah, of course, yeah.
You got two of them now.
I learn a lot from these guys, and I'm very inspired by what they do. Like I'm just the drummer in the band, but I do like write quite a bit, and the reason I haven't brought anything to the table yet is because like the benchmark's pretty high because of these guys. So like I gotta make sure it's really good, you know, and not just playing G and E the whole time, you know. Add that 7
can work.
and 9
See,
in
now,
there.
wait a minute.
Yeah,
It can work.
it might. We'll see.
Okay, so with you guys in your writing, do you like more complicated pieces? I mean, is it to where it's orchestrated within itself, and that's what you like to present for your melody lines? And do you like doing the counter melodies within a melody?
Yeah, I like complicated music. I like simple music.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the main focus is just to try not to make it sound like something else.
Which is a very tall feat, because I don't know if there was an article several years ago that was written that any and every music combination that can be done has been done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to find a new way to present it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a songwriter like you, I can only imagine the challenge of where you may have written a passage and then you go back and listen to it and say, oh crap, that sounds like this, I don't like that. I mean, does that happen as you're creating your music?
Not very often.
Not okay.
I usually like hit a bullseye, and I know that I've not heard something that sounds like this, and I just want to take off with it before I have any second thoughts.
There you go. Okay.
So, it doesn't happen often. It happened probably a lot more in, when I first started writing music, because I wasn't that as developed as I am. And when you play songs with power chords, it's very easy to sound like another song, especially like I was big into Nirvana, and it was hard not to sound like Nirvana when I was playing like Nirvana. So, and I think jazz and classical music have really opened that up for me.
What I like about the jazz, especially personally, is you'll have 3 or 4 members and each one's doing their own thing, but it's one song.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like where you're thinking with your inspiration, is you want those different melodies that work together but are different. I can't wait to hear it. You guys are taking too long to get me that music. I'm just saying.
It's coming.
It's coming. As you guys heard, I had my radio go, or my recordings going, not my recordings, but I had music going as you came down, because that thing is on like 24/7. And I've constantly got music going on. And once I get your music, it'll be thrown into a playlist with everything else.
Cool.
That's just, I can't wait to hear it, because I want to hear the intricacies that you're talking about. And those are the things I find cool. What would you guys like to talk about? I mean, I've been asking all the damn questions. I mean, what would you guys like to? Is there anything you want to kind of let the people know about, or just say in general, or as long as we keep it non-political? We don't do political here, because
We don't either. So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, other interests, like we know Seth, avid reader.
Try to be. Yes.
Try.
There is an effort. I do
Well,
like reading.
There you go. I consider you an avid reader. You like to take the time to pick up a book when you can, or even a tablet, because now everything's digital. I like the feel of a good book personally.
Mm-hmm.
Clive Barker, by the way, is one of my favorite authors. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, actually I am.
That's
He's-
cool.
Only because of like, I don't read a lot anymore, but like when I was in school, I would read like a lot. Yeah, especially like middle school, like having like book reports and stuff. I'd be into it. All the other kids would dread it, and I'd be like, all right. let's
Clive
do it."
Barker would be a horror realist, and his works are, personally, in my opinion, phenomenal.
I think I've read a couple.
And I had an entire collection. If I can find it, I'll give them to you. I had everything in a box. If I can find that box, I'll give it to you. But let's hear a little bit more outside the music realm. What do you guys do when you're not doing music? Besides sleep Are any of you back in college or taking classes or anything? Or?
Seth?
Yeah, kind of. I took
Okay.
this semester off, but yeah, I've been going
Okay.
for music though.
Awesome.
We all have jobs.
Yeah.
Jobs.
So
Yes.
you gotta pay them bills, you know.
Yes, you do. Trust me.
Where do you work?
I work at Kroger, and then I wasn't full time there until very recently.
Okay.
So I would work with a friend of mine who does construction and
Nice.
stuff. I've been doing that on and off for a couple years. It's not too bad, you know. And then on to Seth here.
I'll let Matt go.
Uh-oh.
I work at Aldi. I just started there late May, early June.
Okay.
I was manager at McDonald's for like 6 years.
Oh,
and
wow. 6 years?
He was a McDonald's plug.
It was
I guess.
Yeah.
it was very up and down, to say the least.
I can only imagine.
Much more down than up.
I can only imagine.
I've been at UPS for like 3.5 years.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Big respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at FedEx for 6 months and could,
And-
could not do it.
How
Could
do you
not
keep
do
up?
it.
I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's not a pleasant place to work. For being there as long as I have, I've kind of gotten into in a nice position where I don't have easier jobs, but I have jobs that I'm familiar with, and it's consistent. I'm not thrown everywhere because I'm new or anything. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I've just kind of gotten into the groove of things, and I don't know. I just try to make the best of it.
There you go. See, that's why I like this. You know, and again, nothing against Mason or Matt, but I like his mentality and the way he thinks and the way he approaches it. It's the way I wish I could be. Me, I am a off the wall, spur of the moment. You never know what the hell I'm going to do type of person, and that includes playing in the band. We'll rehearse a song, and I'll have a specific bass line, and we get out there playing. Guess what happens?
Improv.
The whole song. I'll play the roots where I need to.
You can relate to that.
I'll play the roots where they're supposed to be, so I'm there for the changes. But everything in between, you never know. I just,
Yeah.
I make it
good
up as I
skill
go
to
along.
have.
Matt's
Huh?
pretty
It's a good
solid
skill to
improv.
have.
Yeah, and I make it up. So, and that's hence the show too. I just decided one day, I'm going to do a podcast, and I'm going to feature local area artists. And here we sit,
Yes.
a month and a half later,
we
almost 2
appreciate
months.
it.
Oh no, I appreciate it. That's the way I see it. You're taking time out of your day to come to me. I'm already in my comfort zone. I'm here. I'm in my studio. So I actually appreciate you guys wanting to take the time, sit down, talk to the public, let them know a little bit more about you, and let me do what I would like to do, and that's promote. I've got flyers that eventually are going to be made to hand out to bars and different places, and I'll get a hold of one of you guys if you don't mind. Take them to the shows, basically, because not only do I want to do bands, musicians, but people in theater. I've had Tim Stahl from Papa's Tavern sat right here with me. I want to get other club owners, bar owners in here, and open doors for everybody.
Yeah.
Get you guys in there, get them the entertainment they're looking for, and kind of work everything is one whole thing.
That's awesome,
So,
man. Yeah.
and it doesn't cost anybody else anything other than, again, time, which is precious. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm sure you guys have other things you'd rather be doing than sitting here with an old guy talking about.
Hey man, I'm actually enjoying myself. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we possibly wrap this thing up here, or anything else you want to?
How much of the future can we talk about?
Oh, we got some secrets, good ones. It sounds like.
We do have some secrets.
Ah.
I don't know what I can give away though.
Okay.
So-
Well,
I think we
what you
gave
can.
gave away enough.
Give.
Shows soon,
Yeah.
music soon.
Okay, and then I have the card where they're able to find and purchase or get your music, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and one of you guys, gentlemen, give me what I'd like 3 songs, if you don't mind. I want you guys to collectively pick your favorite one, your least favorite, which is hard to do. You're right. Okay, that if you think about.
Easy, probably.
Oh, easy for. I
You're,
would.
you're my hero, Charlie.
Oh,
See
Charlie.
you.
Hey, Charlie Morning. Charlie Morin. Good afternoon, buddy. I'm that.
Shout out to him because he's the one that recommended us to you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
definitely. Charlie is another huge supporter
yeah.
of the show and believes in what we're doing. And I do thank him. Play a video. I don't have any videos ready today, Charlie. I will. I will get stuff. I will get stuff together. Watch Tuesday's show. I'll have some videos for that. I'll make sure that I'm not lazy tomorrow, and I get some videos ready for a show. But where was I? See, I told you earlier I was old and I forgot the direction I was going to go with this. But no, I thank you guys again. It's and we'll get the music. And I know I would like your favorite. You guys think it's your best, or the one you like the most. I would like the one that you think, if we didn't do anything with it. And then I want one right in the middle. And then
That's gonna be the tough one.
Okay.
In the middle.
Don't put them in any particular order. Don't let me know which ones you've picked as which. Just send them to me. And then I'm going to choose 1, 2, and 3 out of those. And we'll see how close we are. Yeah.
That's
How's that
cool.
for a challenge for all of us? Is you send me the 3 songs. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to critique them. And I'm going to put them in the order that I think are the best. And then I'm going to put that on the show live. And then I'll get with one of you guys, and say, okay, here. Or actually, you'll hear it if you watch the show. This is a way for maybe me forcing you to maybe watch 1 or 2 episodes.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, and then I'm going to put that on the show, right there, and we'll see how close we are with that. How's that sound like a challenge?
That's cool, yeah.
A musical
That's
challenge amongst
fun.
ourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you all for stopping out tonight, especially you too, Charlie. Sing one singer. No.
No, thank you.
This has been Glass City Podcast here at the CMB Studios with Mason, Seth, and Matt from Little Pink. Make sure you be watching here shortly. We're going to be featuring some of their music on the shows coming up. And hopefully they'll get me a list of their shows as they start to book them. And we're just going to keep running with this. And then once we get everything set up, and you guys are going to play next time you're here, trust me. So be prepared for it. Be prepared for it.
Sweet.
I do have another band that will be the very first band to do a full live thing. I've already promised them that, but it's coming up. I'm going to work on it as quickly as I can, and I want you guys back for a repeat visit to actually play your music.
Sweet.
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day. I do thank you for stopping out and watching, and hopefully you'll be catching the show soon, and I will have live performances from other area groups. I may be visiting you guys when you stop out or when you play out live. I purchased new cameras, video cameras, just to go out and record live music. And I'll be featuring different bands on the shows just to make things, make Charlie happy. That'll make him very happy. All right, folks, you have yourself a great evening. And again, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you later. Bye,
Peace.
y'all.